Welcome to It All Boils Down to This, the podcast where father and son take the kitchen table arguments and heated discussions from their home directly to yours. Jim and Jack Boyle will explore the world as only they can. We might even let a few guests join the fun. So sit back, choose a side, watch the water temperature rise, and enjoy stimulating generational conversation about sports and life. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of It All Boils Down to This. I'm back here with my son, Jack Boyle, Jim Boyle on the mic. We're going to go over a couple things that happened an exciting weekend. Jack, Ryder Cup, why don't you start us off with a quick observation about Ryder Cup?
Yeah, kind of embarrassing for the Americans, and I was really looking forward to it. And you wake up Friday morning. I couldn't watch on Friday, but you wake up Friday morning, and you see they lost the morning session 4-0. They were down 4-0 already. I mean, tournament's basically over then. So they embarrassed themselves. I have a lot more to talk about with the Ryder Cup, but, you know, that was an embarrassing performance for the Americans.
Yeah, because I remember you woke up because you had to go to work, and we were all working, and you go to me, the Ryder Cup's over, and I didn't even wake up yet. So they went down 4-0, and, you know, we can talk about a lot of different things with regards to the Ryder Cup. But the most important one is they just got their clocks cleaned. The Europeans just cleaned their clocks for whatever reasons we determined. And they just played better golf. So, what's the most significant factor in that clock cleaning?
Europeans, just their players played better. They cared more. They wanted to be there more. They had more of a desire to win. That was quite obvious. They just wanted to be. I know in golf it's talent and all that. They wanted to be out on the course more, and they wanted to win that more than the majority of the Americans did. Justin Thomas, I'll give him it. He wanted to win. You know, there are a few guys in America that really looked like they wanted to win. But everyone in Europe was going for it. Everyone was giving 100%. Everyone was playing in real tournaments leading up to it. The Americans kind of were just sitting in Jupiter, Florida, and hanging out at their clubs and hitting a few balls and all that. But they weren't really in competitive play leading up to it. A lot of them, you know, I know Justin Thomas played. A lot of them, they last played at the Tour Championship, really.
Right.
So that was a month ago. So they just weren't prepared. They didn't take it seriously enough, and you get your ass kicked when that happens.
Well, I don't know about taking it seriously.
I don't think they did.
I think that
they thought they could go there and show up and win.
The fact that the captain decided to give them 5 weeks off instead of having them go out and play,
That's the captain's choice.
He decided he had asked everybody, and then get over there early and get used to the course. So, you know, let's start. Let's start at the top.
Right? That's bad.
I know, but let's start at the top. Zach Johnson, nice guy, 2 major championships. He won a British Open. He won a Masters. Really nice guy. The Europeans, because of LIV, fired their captain a year ago. Henrik Stenson was supposed to be the captain, and they brought Luke Donald on. So Luke Donald did what a Northwestern guy does: is he studied the numbers, he figured it all out. And I think let's start at the top. Luke Donald was 1,000 times better captain than Johnson was.
Of course, not even close. There's blown out of the water in terms of the difference between them. But again, does the captain do that much during it? Like, they pick who plays and all that. But once the event starts, your players got to play.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't motivate a golfer as a Ryder Cup captain. They got to motivate themselves. Those players, they weren't motivated enough.
I think a player's got to play, but again, the captains, the role of the captain, they help with the course development and design.
Zach Johnson doesn't have a say on that.
Doesn't.
No, I know.
Because he doesn't. But they also have a say in who you team together, when they go out, who goes out, why they go out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even to Luke Donald's credit, he knew Jon Rahm was going number one in the singles. First person off. He sat him in the second of the double, in the second session on Saturday. Whereas I thought Zach was just a little willy-nilly. Once you went down 4-love, they were sort of in big trouble anyway.
Yeah.
But why do the Americans struggle? And you and I fight about this at home because of the ball and all that crap. But why do the Americans struggle on alternate shot? Can any logic?
No.
That's your answer? No?
Yeah, my answer is no. I don't know. Why did they suck up? Why they play? It's not like they're playing two different sports, the Europeans and the Americans. They play on the same tours. All those guys, except for one, play on the same tour. They play the same everything. Why does the Europeans always kick our ass at alternate shot? I don't know. You're asking. Do you have an answer?
My guess is the answer that somehow, and I think you hit it on the nationalism we'll use, which is a tough word in this political environment, but the nationalism for them, they go at it and say, I am going to make the sacrifice for my playing partner, whereas the Americans are going and they're individual contributors, and they cannot break that mold. I mean, Tiger was a great match play player, but he struggled in the Ryder Cup in team play because nobody played his style. Nobody was used to playing the way he was used to. So I think the problem with Americans, they don't sacrifice that little bit. And you hit the nail on the head in the beginning. They just don't sacrifice a little bit of themselves in order to make the team better. So they have the ego. They got the management. They do this. I'm great. I go here. I do that. And then you get beat 9-7 or whatever the heck that happens.
Yeah, you want to talk about the ball. They don't play the same ball. You don't lose 9-7 because of the ball. You lose 9-7 because you sucked.
Well, I'm saying the ball. For our listeners, this is an argument at home that I've heard, and I tend to totally agree with it. Is if everybody plays the Titleist or what are they?
Who cares?
Bridgestone,
Callaway,
whatever. If you play the same ball, you would have to be teamed up with a player in that category, because you don't want to be hitting a different ball than you're used to hitting. So therefore, the Americans. I don't know how the Europeans do it, but the Americans are structured and say, so Max Homa has to play with Xander Schauffele or Cantley has to play with Brooks Koepka. So, and again, maybe you're right. Maybe they shouldn't really care. Maybe they should be matching up their talent the correct way. But that's the ball issue.
That argument, though, by complaining about the Americans and the ball, the Europeans are playing the same game. They all use different balls. They all play different balls when they're on the PGA Tour. You can't just say the Americans the ball. What the Europeans don't seem to have a problem.
I'm saying,
and again, you sacrifice, whatever. I don't know.
I'm saying the problem is they don't sacrifice enough of themselves to make it to win as a team because they're so individual. And this is how I play the game of golf. And I'm gonna Scotty Scheffler is this type of player. Brooks Koepka plays like this. DJ didn't play crap. He's a live guy. Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth, you thought would have been matched up really well together. They were both captain's picks, and they really didn't play that well.
Justin Thomas. Was Spieth the captain's pick? Yeah, he was.
Wasn't he? I thought so. So I would go with that grouping of that, but that's just the captain. So Zach Johnson got outmaneuvered at every stage, and whatever it was, and because you 3 of the top 4 players in the world were European, they should be dominating.
Well, 3 of the top 3. I know the number one's an American, but if we did that draft golf ranking a couple weeks ago here, might be our second episode. If you were to draft the golfers, the top 3 picks would all be the Europeans. They would be Hovland, Rahm, and McIlroy. 100%. Those 3 are better than everybody else.
At this stage of the game, you're probably right. And I think we underrated Hovland huge.
You picked Brooks Koepka over him, who is the biggest baby ever, and he just proved it once again. He whined after Saturday about Jon Rahm. He partied like you wouldn't believe after they lost. He is the example of the what's wrong with the American team in the Ryder Cup. Brooks Koepka right there. He is the symbol for everything that's wrong. Talk about the ball. Talk about sacrifice. Everything. His attitude is so bad. It is so bad, and you can't tell me it wasn't detrimental to the team. His attitude specifically. I know everyone wants to talk about Cantlay and Schauffele, and they were being assholes with the money and all that. I get that, but Brooks Koepka's attitude is so bad. It's so bad. I don't even know what to say. It's so he is the worst. The worst. It's like
I got you.
It's like if Deion Sanders and Tom Brady had a kid. That's how much I hate him. That's how much I hate him.
Deion Sanders and Tom Brady had a kid. He comes out like Brooks Koepka. You know what? I never liked Koepka anyway, but again, I've been reading online. The live people are saying, well, if you had taken Patrick Reed and Dustin Johnson and whoever.
Patrick Reed? I didn't see anyone say Patrick Reed.
No, I saw this guy. live those 3. You missed that.
Wait. Where'd you see this? On Twitter?
Yeah.
What was his Twitter account?
Like Live Nation?
Yeah, Live Golf Nation. Yeah, okay. That's not a real opinion.
Yeah, but that's their opinion.
That's like the Bluminati saying that.
That's true. Like the Bluminati.
Wilmer Flores or whatever is better than Mookie Betts, or Connor Wong is a good return.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my bad. I said we were going to never talk about him again. But yeah, the Ryder Cup, didn't go well. And I'm not too pleased with the way they acted afterwards. I saw, in that press conference they do, like I said, a couple of them were drinking beers. It's like, if you want to party, go party. You can party in Rome. It's a nice place, great place to have a vacation.
Yes.
But don't do it on my face.
Okay,
don't do it on my face. Go to a club.
Okay, so let's take it a step back.
I'm pissed.
I know you're pissed. Let's take a step back. And let's go with the Schauffele and everyone. Since the dawn of day, when Mickelson and Tiger were playing, they were always looking to get paid for this.
Well,
they always wanted
Phil.
To go. They always wanted to get paid.
Phil was looking to get paid. No way.
Why is it so bad that the players want to capitalize on the event if everyone else is but them? That same thing goes with college. So I have no issues with them wanting to get paid. I have them issues with making a scene of it wanting to get paid out front. I have issue with the fact that they lost. They didn't give a shit. You lose. These guys got to get over it.
Problem is, the problem with the wanting to get paid and all that. Again, the Europeans don't make a big stink about it, do they? You never see them fighting and all that.
They don't make a big stink about it publicly.
Yeah,
They don't.
okay, that's fine.
They don't.
You can make a big stink about it. If it gets public, then you ruin everything. Everything gets ruined when that gets made public because then you have the, friction in the locker room. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, the friction, they all want to get paid. There's no friction about that. I don't think, I would say right now that if you said to Sam Burns, we're going to give him $1 million to go play, he's going to play his ass off, right?
Yeah,
He's not going to give it up.
doing that. There's enough people like a Keegan Bradley who would go and give it 100% and give everything and not care about not being paid. Right. There's enough good golfers in America to be like, you know what? If you don't want to play, if you don't want to try, whatever. Rory McIlroy, he's more passionate about this than I've seen him in any major. The Ryder Cup. He cares more about winning the Ryder Cup than anything. It's insane.
I would think that's
paid.
not true. Not true. Not true.
Again, you
not
could say that.
Not true.
Okay, not true.
Not true. If he won the Masters, he would be much more thrilled than if he won the Ryder Cup.
No, he wouldn't act like it. No way. No. He would not act. No, that's wrong.
So let me ask you a question. Let's go 2 years ago.
And he's not
2
getting
years
paid.
ago, Whistling Straits. 2 years ago, Whistling Straits. What did they act like? Were they acting like? You think they?
I don't remember.
You don't remember, right? You don't remember, right?
They won. They could act however. If you win by that, they won by a lot. They won by even more than they got beat by this time. If you win by that much, act however you want. I don't care.
Okay,
I don't care.
That's good. All right, that's the back. The other thing we're going to look at is it was terrible. It's a terrible optic because they're rich, spoiled American athletes. But if they win, everybody loves them. If they lose, everybody hates them. The only one, as I go back real quickly, we talked about the payment. If you're going to pay them, here's what I say. We're going to give you a guarantee $100,000 to go. We'll put you on the plane. We'll give you a little per diem so you can do whatever with your married wife and daughter and girlfriend. But if you win, you get $1 million. If you lose, you get the $100,000. Yes or no?
Sure. I don't care about them. It's the Ryder Cup. If you can't care for the Ryder Cup, just don't go. I don't care about money.
Okay,
I know they
let's-
probably deserve to be paid, but whatever. Who cares?
Oh, yeah. It's a national championship football game. Those kids don't get any payment. Should they deserve to be paid? What's the difference between the two?
There's no. Dad, they get paid when they play in the majors. They get paid when they play all year. They get paid all year. It's like this one tournament that they go to every other year. That's like the biggest thing in golf.
Okay.
They can't for 3 days not get paid.
Okay, the NBA,
And it's not all. It's a few players that seem to really be upset about it.
Yeah, well, that's because those are the vocal. Okay, the NBA finals. Should they get paid for it or
They
not?
do get paid. You
No
get a bonus
kidding.
for winning.
No kidding. That's what I'm saying.
But do you get paid for winning the Masters? Do you get paid for winning the U.S. Open?
So why don't you get paid for playing the Ryder Cup?
We're done. We're not going to fight about this because it's just stupid.
That's stupid.
What do you mean? It's the Ryder Cup. It's the Ryder.
So you'd go play in the Ryder Cup for free? You would pay for free?
I'd get embarrassed.
I know that, but you play for free.
Sure.
What'd you shoot this weekend?
85.
That's pretty good.
Not bad. No.
Did Joe beat you?
Yeah, he shot 79. Pretty good.
Damn, he's getting better and better as he gets old.
It's what he always shoots.
Did he talk like we're on the podcast?
Huh?
Did he talk all tournament like if we get him on the podcast, he'll talk?
No, he'll be fine. He'll be a fine guest.
Yeah. Real quickly, I'm just sort of looked at the captain's picks, which just seems to be the biggest issue of the world. Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa, Justin Thomas, Spieth, Koepka, and Fowler. He never played Fowler. But again, I looked at the captain's picks for the Europeans.
Ricky concessions.
They weren't much in. Okay, well, fine. We're going to close the Ryder Cup fund on the. You know what? I don't think this is.
What? Dude, what are you doing?
I'm just checking out the recording.
Oh, my God.
I'm not getting on my board.
Very professional.
I know. That's what has to happen.
Yep.
It's professional. I can always cut that out because I'm good at editing. So
I doubt that.
Let's go back to the concession. Why don't you give me your spiel on the Ricky Fowler thing?
I don't know what he's doing. What are you conceding that putt for? It was Wyndham Clark who maybe like an hour before the end of the Ryder Cup, he was playing the anchor match. He didn't concede a putt from even shorter than the one that Ricky didn't give, and the guy missed it. It was one of the young guys. It was one of like that tall cyborg guy. What are you doing to end the Ryder Cup? Make him make the putt. You give him the putt to end the Ryder. I just thought that was kind of crazy. I don't. You can probably see this. Like, I don't know what's going on in our studio right now. We're having technical difficulties. Are you not? What's going on?
You can't see it. The one light's flashing. I think we're recording just on the big overhead when I'm flipping switch. Don't worry about it.
What does that mean?
Nothing. There's no problem.
So why do we just do that for a minute?
Because I wanted to double check to make sure everything was okay.
Okay.
So now you're gonna make me edit. So I don't like edit. Okay. So Ricky Fowler conceded. You know what? He conceded so the Europeans. So Ricky. So that. Mr. Fleetwood wouldn't make the putt to win that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what Ricky was thinking. Yeah, he didn't. He wanted to take the moment away from him. That fits right in with Ricky's personality. Yeah.
It does.
That was sarcasm by me, by the way.
I can tell.
All right, I'm done with the Ryder Cup. They embarrassed themselves. I hate Brooks Koepka. He was calling John Rahm a child while he's 33 years old and has a mullet. He better shave that before he goes back to Saudi Arabia because they put him in the bone saw for that.
Okay, good deal. That's good. Hey, that's right. So the Ryder Cup's done, passed. We've got 2 years to worry about it. No big deal. Who gives a rat's butt? Next, what do we got? Do we have Kevin lined up here for his spiel? We got about a minute. Kevin O'Donnell, we got about a minute of him. Play his. I wish I had a picture of him we could put up here.
He's going to kick off basically what we're going to talk about. He hits on all kind of the 3 points. Wait, no, we got to do MLB playoffs first.
Oh, forgot about that. Right, let's go.
I don't know a thing about that. Was a voice crack. I don't know a thing about MLB playoffs. So
okay, so
I haven't paid attention to baseball since I got eliminated in the fantasy baseball playoffs 2 weeks ago. Speaking of that, did you win?
No, I lost.
You lost?
I lost by 20.
Oh my God, that's a shame.
Bad.
That's a
really,
real shame.
No shit, it's a shame.
Still hasn't won since I joined the league.
Yeah.
I
beat you by like 100. I scored 900 points that 1 week, and then last week I scored like 600 points.
It is what it is.
That's why I don't like the playoff format that we have because it ends the last week of the season.
You don't like it because you lose.
Half the guys don't play the last week. Okay, Texas. We're going to American League. Texas, Tampa, and Toronto, Minnesota. And the home teams play both games.
Wait, what?
Texas versus Tampa and Toronto versus Minnesota.
Houston won the division?
Houston won the division.
And Seattle didn't make it?
Seattle didn't make it.
I would like to give a shout-out to George Kirby for throwing his knuckleball last night or 2 nights ago. It was a very nice tribute to Tim Wakefield, and it was a filthy knuckleball.
That's good. So who do you? So there's no Seattle for Kirby. Okay, so let's go. Texas, Tampa. What do you like? Tampa's the home team. Tampa has the better record.
I don't really like either of those teams. I'm going to go... I hate Tampa. I'll go Texas. But I know you picked them to win the World Series, so I hope they lose.
Yeah, so you hate Tampa.
Yeah, I'll go Texas. What about you? Well, obviously
I have to stick with Texas, but Tampa's tough because they're at home in that crappy ballpark.
They get Glass now. They get they get the best pitcher in that matchup. Is Eovaldi healthy?
Yes.
And then who else do they have? Like
Eovaldi, they bought that. What's his name? Lefty they got from Jordan Montgomery from the Cardinals.
He's not bad,
man. And they Scherzer might be able to come back, but they don't know.
All right, what's the next one?
The next one is Toronto, Minnesota. Toronto won the.
I'll go Toronto. Screw Minnesota. They get that charity division case. Would they have made the playoffs if they weren't in that division? Did they have a better record than the Mariners?
No.
I think I gotta go Blue Jays. Blue Jays got a good team. Blue Jays really can go on a run here. They got good pitching. They got hitters that can explode and really beat you. They got a dangerous lineup.
I agree
good
with that.
Bullpen, good closer.
So I'm going to stick with Minnesota because Pablo Lopez. They're starting pitching with Lopez and Gray. They can survive a 2-game set. They can win 2 games of those two.
Toronto's got good pitching though.
They do too as well. It's going to come down to bullpens. I think Toronto's bullpen's better, but I'll stick with Minnesota if you're going to go with Toronto. So
all right.
Texas and Tampa. We both got Texas, Toronto, Minnesota. You got Toronto. I'll take Minnesota. National League, Arizona, Milwaukee.
Arizona, Milwaukee. I'll go Milwaukee because they have a player that I played against in high. Well, I didn't play against. I was hurt. I wouldn't have played anyways. But they have Sal Frelick, who prior to Lexington. I'll go with them. Good, and they get good front end pitching. So Woodruff's been dominant since he got healthy. So they got 2 real good front end guys. They got 3 actually. Count Peralta, Freddie Peralta. So they got. Is it Freddie Peralta? Is that his name?
Yes, Freddie Peralta.
Yeah. So they got 3 really good pitchers. I'll go Milwaukee, definitely.
All right, so you're going to go Milwaukee. I'll take Milwaukee. Their starting pitching is way too good for Arizona, and they're home for 2 games in that crappy ballpark they have. Finally, the favorite of all favorites, the Marlins versus the Phillies.
Phillies. Screw the Marlins. I just don't like the Marlins. I don't know. And I kind of, I won't say I like the Phillies, but I don't hate their team. Like I like Bryce Harper a lot. I like Kyle Schwarber, so I'll go Phillies.
Go Phillies? I'm going to go Phillies, except for last week you told me that the GM for the vice president of baseball operations for the Miami you would never hire, but she got her team to the playoffs and Heim Bloom didn't. So
listen,
they got the pitch.
I wouldn't hire Heim Bloom.
I wouldn't hire Heim Bloom either.
Yeah.
So we're going to go. I got the Phillies too. Phillies pitching again. Nola and Wheeler back to back. Their bullpen's deep enough. Kimbrel seems to have found himself again. So I'll go with this. So we're even on Phillies, Milwaukee. And Texas, and you like Toronto, I like Minnesota. So we'll see what happens. We'll come back next week. We're going to have the ALDS start next week as well.
I'm still going to go with Houston over Atlanta.
Houston, Atlanta?
Rematch.
I'm going to go...
2021.
I'm going to go back to Texas versus the Dodgers again. I'll stick with those.
That's what we picked a couple months ago.
As long as Texas made it, I was lucky because they were really struggling there for a while. So All right, that's our baseball talk. We'll go more into baseball as we get close to World Series and the Red Sox.
One baseball point, 30 seasons. Now, nobody cares anymore because of what Acuna was 40-70. Do you see Kyle Tucker, who I love? We talked about him earlier. Kyle Tucker, he ended up with 29 homers and 30 stolen. It might have been more than 30 stolen bases, but he had 29 homers because he had a triple. He had an inside the park home run that got ruled a triple with an error.
Yeah,
just like out of that Seinfeld episode, where Kramer's got the trying to get the picture back, and he's who is it? Is it Mattingly has to hit 2 home runs?
No. It was what's his name? The right fielder, O'Neill. Paul
O'Neill has to hit 2 home runs, and he hits 1, and then the second one's a triple with the fielder like an error.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tucker ended up 29-30. Pretty good. Good player. Nice little player.
He's a 30-30 guy.
Nice little player. All right, so now we're going to bring Kevin in. Kevin's going to bring us through his opinions on 2 things. We're going to talk about 3 things. College football, the Celtics made a trade for Drew Holiday, and the abomination that was yesterday's Patriots game. Are we ready to go there?
Yeah, I wish we got a couple gambling takes from him because recently he's become a big gambler. He's really into the he bets probably 10, 15 college football games a weekend. So he's got a big ticket.
So now you're going to have to watch Jack play the phone on his mic. We'll see. This is new for us. Okay, we'll put it on.
All right, here's Kevin.
Kevin is on. I'll
Jack,
make faces.
What's going on? First off, I'd like to apologize. Last week, I fumbled the bag. Should have called in, forgot to. New job. We're just going to blame it on the new job. All right, into the good stuff. Thoughts on Mac Jones. Personally, think he's terrible. I'm done with him. He's like a whiny crybaby too. Like, just don't want to deal with him. Drew Holiday trade. Great player, but I'm a little concerned about depth. Like, Pritchard's your third guard. Who's the third wing behind Jalen and Jason? And then you have Big Al and Kristaps and, I don't know, some guy they just signed from the Warriors as the bigs. So I don't know how I feel about that. And then with Georgia struggling, another top team struggling, I'm not sure who's, like, the best team in college football. And we'll see how that plays out. I mean, USC struggling against Colorado. I know they're ranked 8th, but, like, I don't know. Washington didn't play that great against Arizona. Texas kind of ran away with it against Kansas, but I don't know. So, curious to hear your thoughts about that. All right. See you guys.
Hey, thanks, Kevin, a lot. Kevin calling into the show is awesome. First of all, Kevin, I hear you're starting a gambling addiction, so we're going to have to take care of that. But let's go. We'll start with college football first because we're going to do the draft of the NFL teams now. You and I watched some of those games, and I'll tell you, I have to admit that you were right on Georgia. Georgia did not impress me at all.
Yeah, so I agree with what Kevin said. There's not a clear number 1 team. We don't, there's not like it's not like last year where Georgia was the best team. I think I said this last week. It's not like Georgia's the best team by far, or a year where Alabama's way better than everyone, or Clemson's and Alabama are head and shoulders above everyone. This year, I think there's 5, 6, 7, 8 teams, 9, 10 teams maybe that could all win the national championship. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It will be interesting to see how some of these, the Big 10 games play out in the Pac-12 games. Those are the conferences I'm interested in. I think Georgia ends up making it, and they'll be the only team from the SEC that makes it. You'll get a Pac-12 team, and you could end up getting 2 Big 10 teams.
Yeah, don't forget there's also the SEC, the Big 12, whatever they call the Oklahoma and Texas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Texas. But I don't trust Texas. I don't know. There's something
Well, you can't trust Sarkisian. I agree with you. And the Pac-12 lead itself, you've got. Hold on.
Okay, so there's something wrong with the drive, and it's not getting an ISO recording. We are getting the backup recording. I can pull the drive and try and see what's going on.
Don't worry about it. We'll just use backup recording. I'll edit this in. Just leave it hit. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
All right, we did not get backup drive recording, so we're going to edit that out. Okay, so back to...
our technical difficulties hopefully are now over.
It's good. We might as well just show that we can do the bloopers. All right, so back to USC, Utah, Oregon State, Oregon, Washington State, Colorado. The Pac-12 is wide open. The Big 10's huge open. So you're going to stick with Michigan?
I don't know. I like Michigan and I like Penn State, but like I said, Penn State actually plays Michigan at home. So that's the game. And then Ohio State, I guess you have to say they're good. Notre Dame just beat Duke. I know they kind of got fortunate to win that game, but I don't know. There's those three teams in the Big Ten. They all have a case for saying that they're the best team in the country right now. So we'll see what happens. That's why I said those games are so important. We're getting Ohio State, I think, 2-3 weeks from now. Ohio State, Penn State.
Right.
That's at Ohio State. Penn State needs to win that game. What happens though? It'll be funny if they all beat each other.
Correct, and then whoever goes the championship game is going to probably make the tournament. So whoever wins the tiebreaker, if they all end up with 3 losses.
But what I'm saying though here is, say Ohio State beats Penn State at home.
Yep.
They have wins over Penn State and Notre Dame. Penn State beats Michigan at home.
Yep.
They have a win over Michigan. Michigan beats Ohio State at home. I could see a situation if that happens where two of them make the playoff. Depending on how competitive the games are.
I'm not going to argue with that, but I still.
It depends on if Texas runs the table, they'll make it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not table. What about FSU?
I forgot about FSU.
There's the whole.
You're right.
What about even Alabama? For Christ's sakes, they could get it with one loss.
Alabama's no.
They could
Alabama's
beat Georgia
no.
in the championship game though.
No.
No.
No, they couldn't.
Why not?
They could.
They could.
Okay, if they beat Georgia in the championship game, Georgia won't make it.
Okay.
Simple as that. They're just not good enough. It looks like Florida. I don't think Florida State will go undefeated. I think they'll lose. Like Miami's gonna be tough for them. Florida's gonna be tough for them, and the championship game against Duke or North Carolina, that's gonna be a tough game. So I don't see Florida State going undefeated. I don't see a Pac-12 team going undefeated because they'll eat each other alive. Maybe Oregon because I like them and I like their defense and everything they do. And they really handled Colorado in a way that USC couldn't. USC did blow them out. I know it was a 7-point game, but they didn't stop them at all in the second half. So there's going to be, I don't think anyone undefeated in the Pac-12. I don't think anyone undefeated in the ACC, and I think Texas will lose in Oklahoma, and there won't be. So I think I'm going to go with 2 Big Ten teams.
Okay.
I'm still
I don't
missing
know
a
about
team.
that.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go 2 Big Ten teams. That's what I'm saying.
This is the last year of this bullshit 4. We get to 6 next year. I think they go to 6 next year, and then we should get up to 12. This is just the kind of year where with the transfer portal and the NIL, this is what's going to happen if you stick with 4 teams because there's going to be 8 teams that deserve to be in. I totally agree. I think
there's more parity at the top.
Yes, exactly right. Which changes because Georgia's not as good as they were. Alabama's not as good as they were. That opens up the door for the Penn States and the Michigans and the Ohio States.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, and I know people hate this and hate me for saying this.
They're the same teams.
No. At the end of the day, what I said, I think we're going to get an undefeated team in the Big Ten, and we're going to get an undefeated team in the SEC, and nobody else will be undefeated. At the end of the day, it really is just you really only need 2. You just need 1.
No, you're absolutely right.
At the end of the day, it always comes down. It really is. You could manage with 2.
You're absolutely
you really
right.
Could.
That's true. But again, how do you? If you get an the only team I see going undefeated in the Big Ten is Michigan, because they've got. I don't know where they have Ohio. They dominated Ohio State for 2 years. And they got Penn State on the road. Probably going to be a blackout or something, right?
No, they already did their white.
They'll do another funky game.
They'll do the thing where they stripe it white and black. It's a 12 o'clock start, I think. So.
Ooh, that's a tough start for a visiting team down in the Happy Valley. And then in the SEC, if it's not Georgia, it's nobody. So if Georgia will go undefeated,
well, no, if Alabama,
Alabama's
undefeated.
And then, like I said, I think Florida State's got unless they completely gag, there's no reason for them to lose.
No, there is though. Miami's a good football team. Florida's a good football team. Duke or North Carolina is a good football team.
Okay, so does Notre Dame have a chance to get in with that one loss to Ohio State?
No, because I just think there's going to be too many good teams. I think Ohio State, like what happens if Ohio State beats Penn State, loses to Michigan, has 1 loss? Can't put Notre Dame above them, right?
Right. I agree with you. It's interesting. This is why we do it. I have no. We could have a 2-loss team though in the national championship bracket. You could.
Yeah. Last year we had 2 Big Ten teams. Last year Ohio State ended up making it.
Right. That's true.
You never know. You never know.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's so crazy this year, though, that the parity at the top 12 teams or so can beat each other up. So
yeah, it's a fun year. There's going to be a lot of good games coming up in October and November.
And I know, Kevin, if you're out there listening, I know you're a Notre Dame guy, so we just cut your team right out of the playoffs. So
Kevin, I do know he's not a big fan of their quarterback that everyone loves. The Hartman guy, Heisman. Obviously not going to happen, and he did have a big-time run, scramble on 4th and, what was
Huge.
it, 19?
Yeah, big.
Huge
70,
scramble, but
he
I don't
made
think
the right choice.
I don't know. He hasn't really performed that great against Ohio State and Duke.
So it comes down, again, we'll finish college football with this. Mike Elko is the coach of Duke. He coached defensive coordinator for Texas A&M for a long time. He's from University of Pennsylvania. he's turned that program around in a year and a half, not even a year and a half, a year plus. Is how important is coaching at that level for the purposes of managing, whatever you want to call it. All of a sudden, Duke is now competing. Now they could lose 3 games, but how important is
their quarterback's
coaching?
hurt now.
Yeah, I
so
know.
they're in trouble.
So
coaching, who cares coaching? It's about recruiting. You got to be able to recruit. Is James Franklin that good at coach? I know I always go back to him. I don't know. I don't know. He can recruit though. If you can recruit, you can coach in college.
Okay, so we got that's at the upper levels with the NIL. You have to recruit the portal, and you have to have money.
Oh, it's more than just. It's almost the portal's more important than getting high school kids.
So as we go through the season, we can continue. Maybe Kevin can fill us in on his college football picks as well. A second thing Kevin mentioned there was the big trade the Celtics made last night. I think it was right. After the Damian Lillard trade to the Bucks, Celtics hopped right on trying to get Drew Holiday. A really, really good two-way player, a little bit old, 33, defensive specialist, good point guard, can handle the ball, something they lacked a lot last year. First of all, what's your take on the Lillard trade instead of going to Jimmy Butler's all pissed off? Instead of going to Miami, they sent him to the Bucks. And then conversely, Brad just taking it and roll the dice.
So the Lillard Bucks thing, I mean, it's a good move for the Bucks. It does make them better. He is a better player than Drew Holiday just because of what he can do on offense. He's one of the elite, top tier talent on the offensive end in the NBA. So it was a good move by them. I don't know. I still think they're going to have trouble guarding the Celtics. And I think the Celtics have enough guys to stop them. So I still like the Celtics' chances. On the Holiday trade, Kevin was talking about how they got no depth now. Kevin's an ill-advised NBA fan. Depth doesn't matter. In the playoffs, I think it was Van Gundy quoting somebody. It was like, I don't get the exact quote, but it was like, have 8 or play 7, trust 6 in the playoffs.
That makes sense.
So it's like, the Celtics have 7 guys. They get 7 guys. Now, who knows if Porzingis stays healthy? Who knows if Horford stays healthy? He's getting old. Who knows if they all stay healthy? But they have the 7 guys, and that's all you need in the playoffs. And they got enough filler guys in terms of Hauser and Cornette and Pritchard and all that to get through the regular season and win. So depth is overrated in the NBA. Just telling you that, Kevin.
So with the Celtics, they replaced Smart for Brogdon, Williams with Porzingis and Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday gives you just as good a defensive player as Marcus Smart, much better ball handler, much better stable outside type of shooter, although he is a little erratic. Porzingis gives you another big to run pick and roll up high and low. The game's changed enough that Porzingis, I think, is a better player than Rob Williams. A lot better.
Well, Porzingis is so much. They're not even in the same stratosphere when talking about offensive ability. I mean, he's so much better of an offensive player than Rob Williams is. I love Rob Williams as much as anybody else. He is one of my favorite players to watch. Loved him. Couldn't stay on the court. You really couldn't trust him. It's a move you had to make. You had to get this done. Drew Holiday's a perfect fit for this team. He's got it. He's the only guy in that locker room now that has a championship experience. I saw he's won the Teammate of the Year award in the NBA like 3 times. So he's a good guy to have in that locker room.
That's true. And
everyone was talking about replacing Smart's leadership and all that. Blah blah blah.
Who drafted him?
The Philadelphia Sixers. DeLeo. Did DeLeo?
Yeah, they drafted him. And then now Al Horford. Joel Embiid is left holding on to the beard. He's in big trouble.
Really
I think for the Celtics, I totally agree with that. I think Brad's saying to himself, I got these 2 superstars. I probably have about a 5-year window where I can win at least 1 championship, and now you want to win the 1 championship. I think that's really important. The Drew Holiday, I mean, you have to spend to get. You have to pay if you want to bring in the guys you need. You pay to bring them in, and just like Porzingis, same thing. I agree with you on the depth. The only reason the depth would cause you any problems would be if one of your major guys gets hurt. And if one of your major guys gets hurt, you're not going to win anyway. So it's.
If Tatum gets hurt, who cares? Like what happened in Game 7 last year against the Heat. Tatum kind of got banged up. They had no chance.
Right.
Especially if Brown wasn't going to pick up the slack. One game you could, and Brown did. Clearly, nobody picked up the slack.
So now the Bucks and the Celtics in the East, with Miami and Philadelphia trailing behind.
Could you imagine after that? The Celtics in Game 7, going back to could you imagine them coming out Tatum in his post game after losing Game 7 to the Heat, coming out with a beer, drinking like, hey, this is great, like Brooks Koepka was doing. Oh.
Yeah, no, and
it gets me mad.
I think that we've talked enough Ryder Cup bullshit. I cannot see it happening. He's depressed because in the NBA you played that whole season and then the whole second season, and then when you lose, it's like quickly over. The golfer's just going to go out and make $6 million.
Some respect for the fans.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay, and finally, before we do we're going to draft today's football teams to see how Jack and I do as we go forward with our picks. The NFL. Another crazy weekend. Miami puts 50 or 60 or 70 on the board against the poor hapless Denver whatever
Broncos.
That's what it is.
Let's ride.
I know. And then Buffalo goes and Miami comes up to Buffalo and they get spanked there. The Jets actually look good. Wilson actually looked a little competent in the second half. Patriots look absolutely horrible, like the worst team that could ever live. And then we'll let you speak in a second. The Eagles went to overtime with the Washington Commanders. Like I said, Dallas looked good. Detroit looked good. So just real quick, his take. Let's go back to Mac Jones. You and I discussed this yesterday.
Can I just say something about Zach Wilson? It's just a funny point. So he played really good, right? And there's been like last week against the Patriots, he was really bad. The reason they lost the game. So after he played the Chiefs, he came out in his post game and he was like, "I'm the reason we lost the game." You didn't hear anything like that from him when he played the Patriots, and he actually was the reason they lost the game. And someone on Twitter was like, "Quarterbacks love to take accountability when they know they played good." It was just funny seeing him come out and be like, "It was my fault," knowing he played a good game.
That's true.
But yeah, Kevin Mac Jones.
I think he's horrible, by the way. I agree with Kevin.
I'm getting closer to horrible.
Yeah.
But he has no help.
Well, that's the other thing. That's what John Amico, the guy in the athletic department at the high school, we were talking about it. He says this might be the team with the least amount of skill ever offensively. Although they do have two pretty good running backs.
Not this year. Stevenson's not been great at all this year. Stevenson's regressed a lot, it seems like. Mac Jones, I don't know what happened. I didn't watch the game. I was golfing, but
you're lucky you didn't watch the game. It was terrible.
It sounded bad. I saw something like that. The Cowboys offense scored like one touchdown.
Yeah,
offense, and like they were like 0 for 4 in the red zone.
Right, and this is a typical Bill Belichick team. I mean, the great defense. And again, I hate. Do you have one player? It doesn't always have to be a quarterback who's a game changer. Like you look at San Francisco when we draft these teams.
On the defensive end, they do.
They do, but in offense, do you
Not
have
anymore.
one player like San Francisco's got Brock Purdy as their quarterback? He doesn't turn the ball over, but they got Deebo Samuel and they got Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Buffalo who just destroyed Miami, great quarterback, which is great, but he also has some playmakers. So I'm not a big fan of Mac Jones. I think this will be the season. He's either fish or cut bait. Bill's going to take a lot of heat, even though he's put together a great defense. He just has no offense. So
1-3, he's obviously going to take heat. I don't know what's going to happen. Who do they play? I think they play the Saints, or they play somebody else.
Saints.
They got to beat the Saints. I think the Saints at home, you got to win that game.
And I think they're going to have an easy. When they get out of the division, they'll have some easy stretches of games. And they're lucky that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. To be honest with you,
I know, because that'd be 2 losses right there. That is going to 2 losses that are now turned into 2 wins.
Correct. Well, you never know with Zach Wilson. He might play well.
They'll beat the Jets at Foxborough. They will.
But we're going to do NFL draft, which is the teams. We'll eventually get to that. Anything else? Your boys, I know you love Kansas City. What the hell was that last night?
Mahomes just sucked. I mean, they didn't get up to play. It's a Sunday night game. I mean, obviously, like we said, there could be there might be a distraction going on a little bit with the team. They just, I don't know, they kind of was like they sleepwalked in the game. They're playing the Jets, and they got away with it, but I don't think they took the Jets seriously. How can you take the Jets seriously after what you've seen from them this week?
So you bitched about the Ryder Cup guys not being serious. You let your Kansas City go off?
Oh, okay, whatever. That's a terrible comparison.
You like that red herring I threw at you?
You know what? If the Chiefs came out in the Super Bowl playing like that, go.
You like that red herring? I like that red herring.
That was a horrible red herring.
No, it wasn't. That was awesome.
That was horrible.
I love busting on your Chiefs.
They won.
They won.
The U.S. Ryder Cup team didn't win. If they won and came nonchalant, go ahead. I don't care. They still won.
Okay, so the Chiefs.
They also didn't play the Jets. They played the Europeans. They didn't play like the Russians. Yeah, the Canadians. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this as simple. I want to answer. The Jets have now had 2 really close games. Buffalo, who is probably the 2 top teams in the AFC.
Yeah, they played the 2 top teams in the AFC really tough.
Now, there's a reason why they did that. Defense, and they played them at home. Yeah. Zach Wilson on the road is probably atrocious, but that's another
They played the Pats tough, too.
They did. They did. In reality, they did the Pats.
Not really.
Any other, before we go to the NFL, anything else from the weekend? Did we get any words from Justin?
I got J. Trev, so team of the week.
Okay, who's got?
I love this because
it's got to be Buffalo. How can Buffalo not be?
No. What I like about Jay Trev is he doesn't like last week. He didn't give me Miami. This week he doesn't give me Buffalo. He gives me a real team that no one's
going to
like last week. I forget who it was, but this week, how about the Buccaneers. This is a team that a lot of people predicted would finish last in the wide-open NFC South, and they have come out and started 3-1 with some impressive victories, including Sunday's beatdown of the Saints in New Orleans. Against one of the best defenses in the league and one of the hardest places to play, the Bucs ran away with this one by doing it on both sides of the ball.
Todd Bowles. Gotta go. Todd Bowles.
The defense under Boyles has been excellent this season, and they completely stymied Carr and the Saints offense. Carr completed 23 for 37 passes for a mere 127 yards. It's great seeing the Bucs have success post Tom Brady. Really great. Because the Patriots, I didn't get. They had no success. And again, they'll fall on their faces.
And eventually Baker Mayfield's got to crap the bed, doesn't he?
Yep.
That's good. Okay, so Justin's got the team of the week is Tampa.
Yep.
I have to say, to be honest with you, if I look at team of the week, I'm saying the Washington Commanders, who took the undefeated Eagles at home.
All right.
Deep.
They beat them
should
last
beat them.
year.
I know. All right. What do we got next, Justin? Hey, next time, Justin, why don't you call in and we'll record it just like we did Kevin.
This works fine.
All right, go.
Because I get to read it, and I like what he says here. I almost like this better. Okay, worst team of the week?
Patriots.
What is going on? You can't, though. The Patriots, they don't have any expectations.
Okay, go.
What is going on in Cincinnati? In multiple offensive metrics, the Bengals are ranked 32nd, good for dead last in the league. This has been a top 3 offense for the last few years and was only supposed to get better. Burrow is clearly not himself physically and also confidence-wise. Jamar Chase has been visibly frustrated and vocally frustrated, and it will be important to see where the offense goes from here. There's too much talent and experience not to take the steps forward the next week.
The expectations there. Burrow's got to be hurt, though. He's got to be hurt because he's got the great receivers.
Yeah.
But he's got to be hurt.
Oh, 100%. They should have sat Burrow.
Yes,
at the start of the season, and now that they're 1-3, they can't sit him because their season's about to be over. And like they said, even against the bottom of the league Titans offense, the defense could not assert themselves at any point and allowed Tennessee's most productive day. So it's not just their offense; their defense stinks too.
Right. What's his player of the week?
Player of the week? Got any guesses? How about them Texans? C.J. Stroud has been impressive, to say the least. He just put up 300 yards and a couple TDs against the top 10 defense in the league, and the advanced numbers tell an even better story. For a rookie, he looks extremely comfortable running the offense and seems to process what's going on in front of him really well. Hardly seems rushed in the pocket and has shown the high-level accuracy that made him the number 2 pick. He's been doing all this with a first-time play caller, mostly unproven targets, and a banged-up offensive line.
Yeah, that's my question. Is their offensive line? He's a big kid too. Stroud is, so that's good. Okay, Justin, I like that. What about the McManus kid, the kicker from Jacksonville? Why did he get mentioned?
Yeah, get out of here. We already did our kicker for the year last week.
That's true. We did.
So the worst player of the week, Mac Jones.
Oh, there we go, Kevin.
Mac Jones is the one who looks like a rookie. Some of the throws he was attempting yesterday are deeply concerning for a third-year guy who has the reputation of winning with his mind. He has that what? Because he threw to Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith.
He's like a Jedi. He's winning with his mind.
With average arm talent, limited mobility, reading the game and making the right decision is what he must rely on. Yesterday, he looked like a quarterback who had no confidence in what he was seeing. There was a span of 2 drives in the third quarter where he threw 6 horrendous passes that almost made it seem like he was trying to throw a pick. Dallas made things difficult, but Mac was a disaster.
Yeah, so
check his bank account.
So Justin and
DraftKings account.
Justin and Kevin are really happy with Mac Jones.
I don't think anyone is.
So listen, if there's any of Jack's buddies out there who want to text him in, we'll put your thoughts up on there. So
feed me some takes.
Thanks to Justin Trevisani, the Harvard recruiting dude down there, and Kevin O'Donnell. Kevin's working for I think it's a leverage company. Small, making money. All I know he's making money, making more money than me probably too. So that's our NFL takes with Justin Trevisani. I like this on a weekly basis. Oh, just a real quick shout out. Today is what's the 21st, the 2nd.
The
2nd of October. I was going to say the 25th. I lost me. Tommy Trevisani, my old partner for We've Seen Enough. It's his birthday. So if you're listening out there, happy birthday, Tommy, and we got to get you back on the air. So
has he moved up a division in the men's league, the age bracket?
He probably does. I think he hit the 53 this year. He moved 53. He can still shoot the 3. He still plays no defense. That's our Tommy. We'll get you back in.
Big Damian Lillard fan, so he's probably very happy.
That's true.
I would assume a large bet is being placed in the Bucs within the past few days.
I wouldn't doubt it. All right, so that brings us to our fun portion of the program as we finish up episode 7, where we are going to pick the top 7 teams that we think have the opportunity to make playoffs and make some do some damage in the NFL. We did this last year with college football, and it already is probably outdated for us because after this past week, because I think I took Georgia #1. I was a little bit frustrated with.
I told you I would have taken Michigan #1.
Yeah,
if you could repick, would you?
No, I'd still take Georgia.
How about Hovland or Koepka?
Hovland all the way. Yeah, I will never. And I love Hovland. I love Victor Hovland. He's great for golf and everything. I was wrong. I think I let Koepka's major championship get in my brain a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that he almost qualified on points without playing on the tour. If he played one event, he would have made it.
That's true. That's true. So
let's get drafted.
Okay. We'll get drafted. So since I went first last week, I'm going to let you go first this week because I'm going to make you make the decision between.
All right. No, it's not
actually.
a hard decision.
I think there's 3 teams.
So I'm going to just go before we start this. I'll be able to do the top teams. I don't have Wi-Fi in here for some reason. I know that's very bad. So I lost my power rankings. So when we get to the 8 through 14 range, I might make some bad picks. #1, I think you have to, even though I don't love the quarterback, you have to go with the 49ers just because of what they've done early on in this season. I think they're the best team. If they stay healthy, they get a good chance to win it all. Coach, everything, they got it all.
Yeah, I agree with that a little bit. I don't know.
I know who you're going to take 2, and I know who I'm going to take 3. So.
Well, I'm gonna because you know who I'm gonna take 2, and I know who you're gonna take. That's why I'm surprised that you took the Niners because you would have made me forced to if you had.
No, because if I had taken the team you're gonna take #2, I think you would have taken the Niners, right?
I would have taken the Niners second. Or if it had been right now, and I hate taking them because I don't trust a quarterback like that. But I think I agree with you. I would go 49ers first. I'm gonna go again. This is just because I'm gonna let you have the Chiefs. I'm going with the Bills. I think that I thought we were in for an Allen blow up there after the first week, but he's really settled in.
Been the best player in the league in the past 3 weeks.
The only issue I have with them is the injuries to the defense is starting to bother me a little bit. But
their best cornerback's out for the year towards Achilles,
and then they're getting their what's his name's coming back. The lineman should be back in about 5 or 6 weeks, which should help them. But again, if you talk about pure talent, I gotta. His last 3 weeks have been phenomenal, and I hate to pick against Patty Mahomes, but I'm not really thrilled with their skill players making plays for him. Seem to run bad routes. They're young, so I'm going to go Buffalo Bills as my #1. So that would mean Bills 49ers Super Bowl if we actually went to 4.
We got to get Tre'Davious White, who tore his Achilles. We got to get him Aaron Rodgers' number to get some ayahuasca or whatever it is. So he'll be back by week 15. He gets in contact with Rodgers. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I know they left a bad taste in everyone's mouth after their performance last night. But like I said, you know what? It's a one-off game. I like the way they've looked this year. I like the way their defense has played at times, and I just think it's Patrick Mahomes. You got to take them. They're probably going to be in the AFC Championship. So we'll see.
I would go Chiefs there too. I'm going to go 3 with the Cowboys.
The Chiefs are, and people are going to hate me saying this. It's not going to end up. He's not going to win as many Super Bowls, but it's just like what the Patriots were, where it was every year. It's like, how can you pick against the Patriots? They're going to be in the AFC Championship. They're going to have a chance to win the Super Bowl every year, even if because there were years where the start of the year Brady and the skill position players, you're like, damn, how's he going to win with these guys? And they find a way. Mahomes will find a way. He's still got Travis Kelce. Brady's still Gronk and Edelman a lot of the time.
Correct. I agree with that, and I would go 3 of them. I'm gonna take a runner on my friend Dak Prescott.
I wanted them.
And I'm going to pick them numbers for my second pick. And there's a big game coming up this weekend for them. And, again, that's going to be about health. But that defense is dominant. It's suffocating. So I go Dallas second. Who you're going to get your third pick?
So this is a tough pick because I think there's probably 6 teams that are really good right now. I'm picking between 2 teams here. Again, it's another team that left a bad taste in their mouths after last week. But I'll go Miami. I mean, they scored 70 points. So their offense is explosive. If Tua's healthy, if they can all stay healthy, they'll have a chance. So I'm going to go Miami.
I think as of right now, I'd say there were 7 teams that were competent enough to win with Miami in there to win it all.
I'm trying to think of the 7th.
Well, I'm going to take what I think is the 6 is the Eagles.
Yeah, that's a good value pick there. That's who I couldn't decide between.
That's
the Eagles
why I thought you'd go Eagles, and then my next pick after that would have been the team that I'm thinking about is just consistently good most of the time. So I'm going to go with the Eagles next. Have you
all right, so this is where I'm lacking with my
I sent you the list of teams.
Yeah, well, you sent me a list of teams. I didn't have them ranked. 1 sec, I'll get it.
I'm not going to give you.
Okay,
I'm not going to give you a ranking.
Just give me a. I'm going to go real quick through this.
He's going to go real quick. Right, this will be interesting. He's going real quick.
This could be a controversial pick, and it could get me some
fired.
I could get trashed on. I could get trashed on for this pick, but I am going to go with The Detroit
I
Lions.
knew that's where you'd go.
The Detroit Lions. I don't know. They beat the Chiefs. They look good. They look solid. Goff looks solid. Their team looks solid. Why not?
I would say
They got a good coach. He's a motivator.
I think the Lions. I agree with that. I think the Lions are one tier below the team I'm going to pick fourth. And I know you're not going to like my pick
One
fourth.
tier below. It's Baltimore.
Yeah, it's the Ravens. I'll definitely go Ravens. See, great minds think alike here. So far, Jack's got the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Miami Dolphins, and the Lions. I got the Buffalo Bills, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and Baltimore Ravens. And I'm telling you something right now, Jack. After that, it can be just a crapshoot. After that, so because some of the divisions are really bad.
Seahawks. Why not? They're pretty good. They've had a good start.
Seahawks?
Yeah, Seahawks. First off, again, this is where my lack of knowledge and lack of information in front of me could cost me. But
there's not many teams left out there, by the way.
Did the Seahawks beat the Lions? Is that the Lions one? I think the
this.
Seahawks beat the Lions.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Seahawks are a pretty good team.
So that's a good. No, I have no complaints with that.
How many more picks do I have?
Well, it gets now. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, the Bucks, because I got to stick with my boy Todd Bowles, and he's the man. It's really, really bad here. It's there was about 3 other teams left that you could possibly feel comfortable picking, especially because one team has to win that one division. So I'm going to go with the Bucks next. You have 2 more picks to go after this, so
I'll go with my Super Bowl
picks for
champs,
Jack.
the Cleveland Browns. I know they had a tough week
Jack's
last week.
going with the Browns.
LeBron jinxed them. He put out his parlay, and I think the team's lost like a combined 60-9. So good job, LeBron.
So you like the Browns because of what?
They didn't have Deshaun Watson.
That's true.
So I don't
That's
know.
true.
I think their defense is really good. I don't know.
That's true.
Well,
Their defense is good. I mean, that's one thing you can hang your hat on. If Deshaun Watson gets his feet on the ground, not a bad pick at all because somebody's got to.
At the 10th pick in the NFL, what are you going to do? You're not going to get much better than the Browns.
That's true. I'm going to take the Jaguars after that because I got to stick with the Jags. I think they have the talent to move forward. I mean, it is my 6th pick, and the odds of them winning the championship are probably about 1 in a million. But I'm going to go Jaguars instead of the Jets, the Pats, the Commanders, the Giants, the Vikings, the Bears, the Saints, the Panthers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. Rams aren't that bad. Raiders, Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, Broncos. Okay, so you get one more.
I'm going to ride this hot quarterback that Jay Triff told me about. I'm going to go with the Texans. I don't think they're any good. I don't know. They probably won't even make the playoffs, but who else am I going to pick? Maybe the Commanders?
No. I have one other team that I like in there.
Pats?
Other than there. No. The Pats. No, actually, I don't have another. I'm looking down the list here. I don't even.
I think it's the Commanders.
No, it's not. I'm going to go with the Packers.
Yeah.
Packers, and then you're gonna. They win at home. They come back. Again, it's so bad. Jack, honestly, look at this: Niners, Chiefs, Miami, Bills, Cowboys, Eagles, and then it's another
good teams
tier.
there, though.
Then it's another tier team. So that's 6 teams.
Yeah, but it's always like that.
I know. There's no depth in the NFL. So you could play. You could actually, if you drew the south of the AFC and you got the Colts, the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Titans. Geez, I know. Look at that. Look how bad. I don't know. Maybe it is always like that. Maybe you're right.
It is. I think there's actually more real top tier teams this year than normal. There's like 7.
6 or 7. All right. So let me recap real quick. We got Jack's 49ers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Lions, Seahawks, Browns, and Texans. Jim's got the Bills, Cowboys, Eagles, Ravens, Bucks, Jags, and Packers. If I look at my list, I think the Bucks might have been an overdraft, and the Jags, Seahawks, Browns, Texans, Bucks, Jags, Packers is a crapshoot, but it's tough. Jay Trev, if you're listening, I need an evaluation from our NFL guy, which had a better draft on that one. So, Jack, any other last words on your draft?
No, I just hate Brooks Koepka. That's my lasting take from this episode.
Jack hates Brooks Koepka is awesome. I do love that part, but we're wrapping the show up. We did have some technical difficulties. I'm gonna try to work on those in the edit because one of our pieces recorded, one didn't.
We're gonna need Spielberg to fix this.
No,
one.
we're not. I can fix it. Don't worry. I'm a master editor out there in those booths. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was great. We did the Ryder Cup. Jack doesn't like Brooks Koepka. I don't like Brooks Koepka either, by the way. If
anyone who listens to this podcast does like Brooks Koepka, I'd like to hear from you as to why, because I just can't figure out who likes this guy.
And if anybody who's listening to the podcast wants to get their text or tweets or whatever you want on the air, just send it to Jack Boyle. He's got his
or you.
No, don't send it to me. Then I have to read it.
Well, you can send it to me.
Yeah, whatever.
We have technology these days.
Yeah, right. We have to read it.
I'm not giving my number out, though, because I don't want to. But if you got my number, you can. Especially my high school kids will be texting me all over the place. And everyone wants to come on the show, Jack. I'm getting a lot of people want to be guests on the show. And
We might have to charge.
yeah, we might have to. So.
Entrance fee.
Entrance fee. To sit next to Jack in the chair over there behind the side of Jack, we bring it in. So, like I said, Ryder Cup baseball playoffs are going to really go hard and heavy over the next week or so. We'll probably get to talk a little bit about that. I really want to focus on the Celtics going to preseason. We won't do any Bruins talk because I know nothing about them. And as college football wears in, we talk about some of the other things. The Premier League is getting going. Your team's struggling. We could do some of that talk as well.
No. Well, let's wait till we win some matches.
All right, we'll wait till we do some matches, and then we'll bring some. I'd like to bring a couple more guests on. If you're out there, you want to leave me a guest, got to get Mr. Greco in. Try to get Tommy in as well. If we can sneak him down here, it'd be great to have him on. So that's where we are. Episode 7 is concluded. For Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. For It All Boils Down to This. We'll see you on down the road.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It All Boils Down to This, recorded at WCTV studios in our hometown of Wilmington, Massachusetts. We are always open to any ideas, critiques, topics, and guests. So if anyone out there in podcast world needs to get a hold of us, we can be reached via email at jboyle22@comcast.net. Along with Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. Make sure to tune in to the next edition of It All Boils Down to This.